Well, good morning, BodySlams podcast viewers. And you're probably wondering why I'm saying good morning, because it's 8:30 here on the East Coast. Well, it's morning time somewhere in the world. That's right. So someone across this godforsaken planet is sitting down and having their breakfast, and they're probably watching any kind of recap of Body Slams as possible. So breakfast and Body Slams can happen anytime and anywhere with anyone. So with that being said, since we're doing this a night show, as you can see, this only because our morning one had a hiccup. So this is take two, a retake. That's right. We're going to be talking about American Xcellence Wrestling. That's right, AXW. And who can talk best about it than none other than a man who is quite debonair when it comes to the written word. As you can check out his own webpage too. He's probably gonna kill me if I butcher this. I'm gonna say it's hardwayhq.com. Hopefully, if not, he will correct me. So without any further ado, let me bring on the man who was here last time when we discussed AXW, Mr. John Harder.
Chio, what's going on, sir? And you got it absolutely right. Hardwayhq.com. Got it on point, man. I was impressed. And debonair, I've never been called debonair before, so I appreciate that.
Well, I figure, a man with your linguistics talent that you have. Yeah, I know I'm trying to use big words here. I'm stretching. I'm stretching that noodle really fine right here. But yeah, we had some hiccups today for anyone who tuned in and caught some of that episode, which is this episode. That one there's going to be deleted. And this is the episode that we're going to be talking about. This is your preview show for United We Slam, happened at the legendary Hamburg Fieldhouse. And matter of fact, speaking of AXW, John, I was disappointed I didn't get to see you last night. There was I'm not gonna say it was a official AXW show, but it was in conjunction. They teamed up with Ace Austin to help out the Conrad Weiser musical department to raise money for the school, and it was jammed packed there. Not only was TNA Impact superstar Ace Austin, since he is a alumni there, also on the card, it was Rich Swann as well. So they had about 7 matches. One of them just happened to be a women's match. Another one was a 16-man battle royal. And I'm gonna tell you, the house went nuts for Joe Clean. They were so behind him. For people who are not really wrestling fans, who are just coming to support the musical, now I think we have a bigger following for AXW, and Joe Clean has just embraced like that aura of fandom that just loved him. They were cheering like crazy. But it was a hell of a night. 7 matches, start to finish. It was the adrenaline, the emotional roller coaster that these people were on. It was there. It was there, brother. And all I can say is, come next week, AXW is gonna take them to that peak, and it's gonna be a long ride down the whole night long on that emotional roller coaster. That's gonna happen next week at United We Slam.
Absolutely. I mean, just hearing your passion about it. I know you messed me. You're going to be there. I was sadly I
missed you. I
I know, man. I wish I could have been there for that one, but real life calls. But all I heard, and you talk about Joe Clean, and he entered. I remember back in September. I don't know if you were there for Battlefield X and that huge Rumble, and he came out. And originally, I thought he just had Swiffers in it. He actually had 4 brooms handed out to each side of the ring. Entered, bar of soap, everything, the bald head, and I just go, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. I'm singing the old jingle from back in the day.
Yeah.
Joe Clean is something to experience, and seeing his success, that's nothing but great. I'm so happy that everyone took the Joe Clean last night, and I hope more for him going forward, man. He's a really good dude, man. I'm really happy to see his success.
Okay, I don't believe we have a full rundown of the entire card that's going to be at United We Slam, but we do have about I'm going to say 5 to 6 matches, plus 2 other surprise appearances. Well, not really going to surprise, but another 2 returning appearances that's going to happen. Well, let's kick this show off with one of the matches that everyone's going to be looking forward to, and that is none other than Derek Neal taking on Tommy Vex, and I'm sure he's going to have Mary Elizabeth in his corner for this.
Absolutely. You know, Derek Neal, the Kings Road Slayer, came to AXW when it was reborn as AXW in January for the people, and he came in and absolutely decimated his opponent. And by the end of the night, I mean, this guy came in during a 2 out of 3 falls match, Matt Quay, Ian Bush for the AXW championship, and really disrupted things. Actually, technically by the record, cost Matt Quay the AXW championship, beat up Ian Bush first. And Derek Neal and Matt Quay were on a collision course in April. And because of Tommy Vex and Ian Bush, before the big Quay Neal encounter, there was a mouth back and forth about who wanted to destroy Matt Quay first, and Derek Neal got into Ian Bush's face, and Tommy Vex was the one to clip the knee of Derek Neal. He had to have reconstructive surgery. He was out for 5 months, came back to the ring last month in October for AXW, and he teamed with Matt Quay. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and they defeated Ian Bush and Tommy Vex. But Derek Neal, this man's been in the game for 19 years, and he has got a goal in mind, and he wants to get to that top of AXW, and he's going to have to get to Tommy Vex first. And we all know Tommy Vex, he's basically, you know, he's to me, Tommy Vex is like the weasel for Ian Bush. He's the gopher. And to get to Ian Bush, you got to go through Tommy Vex. And, of course, you got Mary Elizabeth at ringside with them, as you mentioned, Chio. I mean, that's always she's always the wild card in play. She's always got diabolical plans. But I'll tell you this, Tommy Vex has to be praying tonight and for the rest of the week for November 11th, because the Kings Road Slayer, he's gnarly on a normal day. He is extra gnarly knowing that he's got Tommy Vex on his plate at United We Slam.
Yeah, just let everyone realize, know that Neal cannot sleep on Vex. Whether Mary Elizabeth is out there or not, Vex is cunning, he's very deceitful. He'll, by any means necessary, by hook or crook, he'll find a way to, like you said, into a victory. So Neal needs to keep his eyes open to see what's going to come at him from all different angles. And when he's ready to step in there with Vex, he better be on his P's and Q's, because, like I said, you cannot sleep on Tommy Vex, because this here could be the sleeper match of the night, where, you know, everyone's going to go for Neal, fan favorite, and he has the size and the strength difference over Vex. So, like I said, Vex could be that sleeper here, you know, just to crush everyone's dreams for Neal going over in this match.
And I do have to say this about Tommy Vex. You know, I know I'm a little hard on him and Ian Bush for their diabolical schemes that they've raised for the past year in AXW. But Tommy Vex, his style, especially against bigger guys, I've seen him against TJ Boss inside of an AXW ring. He has to be intrusive yet elusive. He has to strike. He has to go fast. He has to go quick. And for Tommy Vex, that's what he's going to do against Derek Neal, because Derek Neal's a brawler. He loves brawling around the building, and he's got a wicked left lariat. The man is old school at its finest, and like you said, Tommy Vex, he it could be the sleeper of the night. You can't sleep on his experience, but Derek Neal has a chip on his shoulder, and that's the only thing Vex has to avoid. Keyword of advice: be intrusive yet elusive. And I hope Mary Elizabeth's actually training him on that, because it's going to be one of the biggest nights in AXW history. And if Tommy Vex goes down in defeat, things will not be well in the Bush Vex Mary Elizabeth camp.
All right. And moving along, not only for that one-on-one situation, we have another one-on-one competition that's going to happen, but it's going to be in the women's division. As you're going to see AXW fan favorite, this redneck chick known as Izzy McCoy, taking on a debuting Taylor One Shot.
You know, we talked about Izzy McCoy the last time we recorded this, Chio, and learning about Izzy from your perspective, I mean, it actually kind of furthers my respect for what Izzy has had to go throughout her career in AXW. And she truly is the redneck chick. She had a great matchup last month, and she keeps picking up victories. She is by far the toughest, one of the toughest, not just female wrestlers, but wrestlers in AXW. She entered Battlefield X back in September. We talked about that. She is double tough. And I mean this. I don't think anybody can unseat Izzy McCoy unless Izzy McCoy allows them. And Taylor One Shot, you know, I've heard a lot of great things about Taylor. Coming up, she wants to make her impact in AXW. She wants to be the one to unseat Izzy McCoy as the top women's performer in AXW, but that's a tough task ahead. Izzy, you could beat on Izzy, but she, like I've said before, she's like a piece of iron. The harder you beat on her, the tougher she gets, and it's going to take a tough task for Taylor One Shot, but I give her a lot of credit, and I've heard a lot of great things. I can't wait to see her make her debut in AXW.
Yeah, not as much known about Taylor One Shot. I'm sure we all have to Google her and find out and see some of her matches, because like I said, I'm not familiar. This is the debut for me to see who she is and what she is all about. And you said about Izzy being tough as nails. She is a product of the dungeon with the Mess Brothers, and she actually trained with a bunch of the talent, such as guys like Ian Bush that's on this card, as well as several others that we've seen. But yeah, this is going to be one exciting match for Izzy. Can she up her stakes in her worth going on through AXW? Time will tell. Like I said, how many more competitors that she has not ever seen or faced before can she get through? Who will upset the redneck chick from gaining success? Because that momentum is just rolling hard with Izzy right now. But who out there has the ability to knock her off her high horse here in AXW?
Exactly. And you talk about that Mess Brothers dungeon. You know, Banky Bruce has written a little bit, you know, I don't want to jump too far ahead, you know, talking about the dungeon when it comes to Matt Quay and Ian Bush. You know, Izzy McCoy coming from that dungeon, and just seeing the products that have come from there, you know, to get the win is necessary. And that is the goal. No matter what you have to go through, no matter what acts you have to prove, and it could be both on the rule breaker side or the fan favorite side. They're not afraid to do what they have to do to win. And that Mess Brothers dungeon, I've heard a lot of great things about it. And obviously, you see that with Izzy McCoy. She will do whatever it takes to win. And Taylor One Shot, you know, I'm really excited to see what she's got to bring, because it is going to be a dogfight when you're in there with the redneck chick. So I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be something intriguing at the Hamburg Fieldhouse.
All right. And if you are excited about women's action, what about tag team action? As we have, I believe they are the number one contenders, the Hispanic Mechanics, as they're taking on the newly crowned tag team champions, the Golden Era. As last month, they had the opportunity to face the former champs, Team Baby Daddies, and they walked away with the gold.
Yes, they did. And you know what? It was conspicuous. It was a lot of shenanigans happening around. If you watch that matchup live and in person, I mean, before the match, there was about 15 baby mamas that came out to the ring with Team Baby Daddy. So obviously they were very distracted from that. But Ed House and Laszlo Arpad, they just won the belts back at Battlefield X, and I don't want to say they came in unprepared, because they never come in unprepared. They're always down for a fight. But the Golden Era, they finally used the odds to their advantage. Goldie tried getting involved. Reggie Collins brought him away, but the distraction was enough. The referee got taken out, and Brian Morris and Wet Brett Waters became the AXW Tag Team Champions. Now, with the Hispanic Mechanics, I've seen these guys up and down the East Coast. These guys are very talented. They got a lot of just unique double team maneuvers. They got a lot of charisma. They're very interesting to see. So when you have two young, fire-breathing tag teams looking to stake their claim as the best tag team in AXW, you got to hear the Hispanic Mechanics and Morris and Waters. And and again, despicable actions, with the Golden Era, you can't doubt their talent. And Brian Morris, who I think is a blue chipper in the making. I can also say the same thing about Brett Waters. They got a lot to live up to, especially with those newly won AXW Tag Team Championships. And like you said, if you're a fan of tag team wrestling, November 11th is the place to be for some damn good tag team wrestling.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to meet the Hispanic Mechanics last night at the show they had at Conrad Weiser, and it was lucky. They were nice fellas. They charged me real cheap. I had something wrong with my vehicle. They came out. They had some duct tape. They had a little bit of aluminum foil, some zip ties and stuff. They just wanted like a 6-pack of Corona or Modelo or whatever it is they drink. That's all they wanted. And my car was back and running, up and running. They said, you should be good about halfway down the road or whatever, or at least almost home. But I made it all the way home, though. But thanks to those guys and their genius techniques, because these are those hood mechanics, as guys from around the way. Hey, I'm not gonna go to somebody's like a big time garage when I got a friend who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who can work on my car. Look, it just so happens it's the same guys who can fix your house too. You need some painting and some siding done. About a case and a half. It'll cost you a case and a half to get it fixed. All right, so but those guys, they were really gracious to help me out. They showed the fans they were there to have a good time, and hopefully they do the same thing here in Hamburg. Show everyone how much fun the Hispanic Mechanics are as they go head to head against the Golden Era for the new tag team champions, because unfortunately for Team Baby Daddy, even though they lost their tag titles to the Golden Era, the bad part is they were debuting brand new tag team championships, and they did not get to celebrate with them at all. So who knows? Maybe down the road they'll get a rematch, and maybe they'll get their hands on those new tag team titles. Time will tell. The AXW board committee, they have to put all their brain trusts together to see what's going down in AXW, whether it be the ranking system or whatever. They have to go and look back at all past results and see who's the top 10 in the categories of individuals and tag teams, women division, you name it. They're going to have their hands full to figure out the ranking system of the tiers, who's going to take on teams like the Golden Era if they're still reigning after next week as the tag team champions.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you this, you mentioned those tag team championship belts, Chio. Man, they are a throwback to the old school NWA tag team championships from the early 80s. And I love the look of the belts. I love the logo smack dab in the center. Very reminiscent. It's a different style from the AXW Heavyweight Championship, but I love the look of the AXW tag team titles. And that classic style, you got modern tag team wrestlers like the Golden Era holding them. And it stinks because Ed House, Hamburg's own, and Laszlo didn't really have, like you said, didn't have a chance to celebrate with those belts. Go out with the baby mamas around Hamburg, go to the local pubs, have themselves a pint or two, maybe no duels, but
exactly.
But I mean, those belts are absolutely gorgeous. And I credit AXW management making a modern style championship with a old school twist. I love it.
They're just evolving. That's all it is. They're taking it to the next level. That's it. And that's the thing with wrestling. We always got to evolve, keep changing, keep it moving forward. Sometimes we have, like how you mentioned the old school. Sometimes we have to look back at the old school to help us get ahead into the new school as well. With that combination, it's you can't go wrong, because you always got to pay homage to the past to get where you need to be in the future.
Absolutely.
So, and you mentioned a very particular individual just a moment ago when you mentioned the name Goldie. Mm-hmm. Well, Goldie will be taking on a superstar that has been around the world, and he's here to set Goldie straight, and that is none other than Richard Holiday.
This one is going to be, we talk about sleeper match. This one might actually be, with the exception of the Ace Heavyweight Championship match, one of the most anticipated matches of the entire night for me. Richard Holiday, this guy literally is an inspiration. He was a vile rudo for a Major League Wrestling. He actually held the MLW Tag Team Championships with a guy you might know right now named Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He also had a long rivalry with MLW with Savio Vega, who, I've experienced Savio Vega many times, especially in the New Jersey independent scene up in Union City for Ace Pro Wrestling back in the day. He worked with MLW, and him and Holiday had a feud to the point where Richard Holiday is wildly hated in Puerto Rico. But to talk about inspiration, I mean, Richard Holiday, it's been documented this man fought cancer, I believe Hodgkin's lymphoma. It might have been non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And actually, he beat it. He had it at the end of 2022, came back full-born 2023, back out there, back doing the thing. And now you have him going against a guy in Goldie who really has, I love to hate Goldie. Goldie loves to use that golden touch. He says he doesn't use brass knucks. It's blatantly obvious he does. But he is an immensely talented individual and a blue chipper in his own right. He's a star of the Apple TV series with the Monster Factory. The man has done it all there. He's done a great job in AXW. Him and Andy Head had a great rivalry, put on a great match with Reggie Collins in October. And now you got these two guys going one-on-one. This is a huge test for Goldie, for the simple fact that he's facing a guy with a wealth of experience. And, the one side of me seeing how much of how diabolical, and I've used that word a lot when it comes to the Golden Era, how diabolical the Golden Era is.
They're evil. Yeah. That's why.
They are. They're very evil, especially Goldie, but he is damn good. And, in October, he actually won the match. He didn't use the brass knuckles like everyone thought you would see against a young up-and-comer like Reggie Collins. No, he used a springboard knee to do it. He beat him straight up, which shocked me. So when you head into a match like that with Richard Holiday, you're going to need to bring that and then some.
Brother, when I was watching that match last month against Reggie Collins, I thought Reggie had his number. Definitely. I did not think Goldie was going to walk out there with his hand raised high in victory, but he did. I got fooled. I was 100% behind Ray. Like, at first, I was like, okay, it's an even match. It's going to go. Then start seeing it going back and forth. And then Reggie started surprising me with some of his skill sets that he possessed. I'm like, okay, this guy's going to pull it off. I can see it happening. And nope, I was wrong. I have to admit it right here. I was a Goldie doubter, and I paid the price. now I have to walk around with my head in shame now.
That happens, man. I was the same exact way when I saw Reggie go to the top rope, and I talked about that steamboat-like cross body. He launched it, and I said it's over. I said it's done. And Goldie, he saw it coming. He did great scouting, and again, student of the game. moved out of the way, then did the springboard knee, caught him for the 3 count. That's a different type of golden touch.
And thing is, it's not that easy though.
No.
I'm like, especially when you're trying to control your body in mid-air after you springboard, you don't know where your opponent exactly is going to be 100% of the time. So it's like you got to time it just right. You got to you got to figure out how much springboard you got to get, how high, how far of a distance you have to push off just to nail it perfectly. And apparently he had it all calculated at the last second because a move like that has to be like instant right there. You can't think about it. You got to just do it. And I don't know how he did it, but he timed it, everything. He calculated and he hit it square right on the jaw, and it was over. So
and, he says he's born better, and it's a little cocky to say, but
he's proven it.
Yes, and he has proved it. And against Richard Holiday this coming Saturday for United We Slam, Hamburg Fieldhouse, that is a match I am really looking forward to just see because of the styles and the similarities between Holiday and Goldie. So this one is a must-see, and I hope anyone watching Rarely Late Breakfast with Breakfast of Body Slams goes and checks out Holiday versus Goldie. That match is money written all over it. I hope you guys come and check it out.
I know the first time I ran Richard Holiday was out at a company that had one show, Go Pro Wrestling. And it was huge. It was huge. It was a lot of the stars in
No, sorry. We're good now.
It was a lot of stars that's in AEW and maybe some NXT and stuff. Ones that were there was like before the company even had their first show, before AXW. I mean, not AXW, as far as AEW started, a lot of the stars were here on this show before they went big time. They were just signing the contracts right before, and he was one of the talents I got to meet there. He was very pleasant to work with. And you mentioned his battle against the cancer. That there, hands down, no matter who he steps in the ring with, that there's going to be the biggest fight of his career that he won. And so big ups to him, kudos, and good luck against Goldie coming up next weekend.
Absolutely.
And you were talking about Goldie, and you mentioned another individual that he had a matchup with, and that is a returning to AXW. I'm not sure how long has he been away, maybe a couple months, maybe 2, 3, I'm not sure. But none other than Serious Business, Andy Header. I know this guy quite well. Me and him had our ups and downs where I battled against him for a title once or twice. And I also used to manage this guy too as well one time in the past.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so me and Andy Header are quite familiar. I am looking forward to see who he faces at AXW. By far right now, no matter who it is, odds on favorite for me is Andy Header. It's only because like I have personal connection. That's why. So hey, Absolutely. What can I say? Also as well, we're also going to see returning in action is none other than the Earth Champion, Leo Sparrow. He'll be returning to the ring for all the AXW fans at Hamburg. And if you have not done so yet, you can get your tickets at AXWTix.com. And if you're a veteran or a first responder, you can also go to vettix, I believe, .org and firsttix.org as well. You can get yourself some tickets there. I'm not sure, as I have not been told yet about the bleacher seating. Last show, I believe they had $5 bleacher seats going on, and they had packages too as well, like group packages. You could, but you would have to check out on AmericanXWrestling.com just to find out more of the information of what kind of ticket specials they have going on sale. So I like. Get your tickets while you can. Don't want to miss out. Front rows go really super quick. They right now during this broadcast, they could be already sold out. So don't hesitate.
No,
Get
don't.
yourself a good seat while you got a chance. Go see the concession stand. Get some hot dogs and stuff like that. It's very delicious over there, especially their burgers. I like their burgers.
Big pierogi guy. They actually made pierogies last time, and
wow.
I was like, look, I'm a fat boy. We all know this. I had to go get myself some pierogies. They were fantastic, and I'm trying to implore and make a push for more pierogies on the menu, Jared. Please, I love the pierogies.
And don't forget about all the merchandise tables around the building, whether it's tables that has general wrestling from all different likes of, far as old WWF, WCW, classic stuff, newer stuff. Even the wrestlers, individuals themselves have their own merchandise, t-shirts, 8x10s. Don't hesitate to go over there, say hi, shake some hands, get some pictures, buy some merchandise. That way they can autograph it for you, and you can show your support for them as they're here coming to these events to give you great fans the much needed entertainment that we all need to get away from everyday life that becomes a headache, and we can have that moment in time at a live pro wrestling event to let it all disappear, and we can just take it in right there and enjoy ourselves and have fun. And that's what AXW is. It's family friendly, and it's here for everybody. Everyone's included from all walks of life, no matter race, sex, creed, religion, whatever. Everybody's welcome, and that's what AXW is all about.
Man, I could not, you talk about being debonair, Chio, I couldn't say that any better, man. You know, the AXW environment, it's different than any other environment. It's such a good time. It's a good vibe. And, you talk about, just everybody coming in. I've seen some passionate wrestling fans that come around to the AXW events, and they just want to see things happen in that ring. They want to heckle, all the rule breakers. They want to go for all the fan favorites, and they all want to show their support. And I see so many guys walking around with AXW shirts, like you said about those vendors and the food, and yeah,
there's a lot of diehard individual fans that have their certain AXW superstars that they show so much support. They go from event to event, not just AXW, to other events as well, because there's more than just one out there. But they show support for them individually as well, coming to the shows with signs and posters. There's one little kid. Please help me here if I remember him. I think his name's Gavin. I think his name is. I believe that's his name. He dresses up as all these superstars, and he comes to the shows. Last night I seen him dress up as Shawn Michaels. He did an interview with Anthony Blackwell of ABJ podcast, and he ended up pulling the old Shawn Michaels. He was dressed as the old Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, when he first the rocker one.
Oh.
When he pulled that, he super kicked ABJ and then tried to put him through the glass window at Conrad Weiser. But enough of this. Yeah.
Was he trying to jump through the glass, ABJ, trying to avoid the young Gavin, or was he?
He was there. He stuck that chin right out. He was ready to take it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The talent is a fan of Gavin's. Like I said, I hope I got his name right, because I seen him around. I see his pictures. I've seen it online, but I have yet to actually shake the kid's hand. I have not yet got a chance to walk up to him, and I would love to get a picture with him when he's dressed up. The one time I seen him dressed up as Jim Cornette, and he came out to the ring managing a tag team at an event, and it was great. It was phenomenal.
He had the racket? Did he have the racket?
Yes.
That is
amazing.
Had
the racket. Yes, he did. Who knows what he has in store for next weekend? So you just got to look for him to see if he's there and maybe get a picture. I might have to get a picture with him too as well if I can, if I get a chance to. And moving along, you mentioned two names earlier about being from the dungeon, and that is two individuals that spent over a year going head to head in AXW. But prior to that was mentioned, I believe we talked before, and mentioned that with both of them being from the dungeon, they competed against each other. They had matches against each other, but now it's a whole thing of one-upsmanship. It been of who is the better dungeon student that came out of there, who is better of those classes, and that is the reigning, defending AXW champion Ian Bush, as he takes on his dungeon fellow in Matt Quay at United We Slam.
Let me tell you something, man. I read Banky Bruce's piece that he wrote about this matchup, and Ian Bush went on social media and is not a fan of Banky Bruce. He felt Banky slighted him a little bit, and Banky's been hiding ever since. But I'll tell you this, I did talk to Banky, and just going through the article and everything like that, I will say this is the most important match in the Hamburg Fieldhouse, especially with 2 more shows coming in the history of that venue. You know, this is the most important match in 30 years in the Hamburg Fieldhouse. Matt Quay, Ian Bush, these 2 guys started this thing 365 days before, in between, 1 full year, like you mentioned. This is, Ian Bush defeated Matt Quay because of Tommy Vex's interference. So they went to January. These 2 guys went one-on-one with each other, 2 out of 3 falls. And it was 1-1. Quay had it won. Derek Neal called shenanigans. Everything went in disarray. Ian Bush still AXW champion. Ian Bush, despite the methods, and I'm not a big fan of the methods, Ian Bush has come out on top against Scotty 2 Hotty, Martin Stone, the former Danny Burch in NXT, Andy Header, TJ Boss, the big man on campus. And this guy has proven his mettle in AXW in that Hamburg Fieldhouse. Meanwhile, Matt Quay, the greatest mullet I have seen in a very, very long time, the American Hammer. This guy he's taken on Derek Neal. He's brawled through the Hamburg Fieldhouse trying to get his respect. Went to Germany to go get more experience. Walked into Battlefield X, won Battlefield X by eliminating Sean Carr to win it. And then comes in last month with Derek Neal to defeat Vex and Bush in a tag team contest. I mean, this has been building for 1 full year, and it's the most important. I can't hype this enough. This is the most important match in the Hamburg Fieldhouse in 30 years. There is no other match that I've seen in this venue, and I've watched YouTube clips. I've talked to Tone about the history of the Hamburg Fieldhouse. There is nothing as important as this match, and for every wrestling fan that wants to experience history, especially with a legacy venue, stop running events at the end of 2023. November 11th, 2023, United We Slam. I'll say divided we fall, because Matt Quay and Ian Bush for the AXW Heavyweight Championship, this is going to be the match to watch, and you have to be there to watch this live. You mentioned it, AXWTix.com. I mean, do everything in your power, because these 2 guys are absolute studs. Mess Brothers Dungeon. They've teamed with each other places. They've wrestled each other. But in AXW, it's a different vibe, a different atmosphere. They test each other in that venue. And I'm telling you this, Quay, Bush, heart versus soul for the AXW Heavyweight Championship.
This match here is going to put a division. It's going to be divided lines within the dungeon, between the trainers, between other fellow students who are currently there, or past ones who've been there, who know both of these guys quite well. The line in the sand will be drawn, and they're going to be picking sides of who they think is going to go over in this match. Now, question is, after this confrontation, will they be able to put whatever differences aside and become those dungeon brothers again? Because it's a fraternity, and when you graduate from any kind of fraternity or whatever, you are a brother for life. And right now, that championship is dividing them. And I know it's supposed to be healthy competition. everybody always wants to be the best in what they do. But I think this feud between these two individuals got a little bit extra personal. So I hope behind the scenes, as far as outside of AXW, whether they're at the dungeon or whatever, I hope they can put whatever this title is doing to them, because it's like, okay, I can see Ian Bush. He's like, was it Golem from Lord of the Rings? He gotta have that belt. That's his ring. That's his precious. He needs that, you know. And the thing is, will that belt get in his mind to push everybody away that he was close with? You know, I can only speculate. That's it. You know,
I'll give you this, Chio, and I'll give you this great example. This is going to sound way dated, so I apologize. It'll show my age, and the way I explain it will not make any sense when I first started. Okay, show Dawson's Creek. You have a pair of brothers, you know, best friends, Dawson and Pacey. These guys were joined at the hip. You know what got them apart? Joey. Joey is the AXW championship. And after that championship gets involved, their friendship was never the same. There's still respect there between both guys, but there's always that one thing to come between them. And the AXW championship is Joey. And the fact is, that belt, it doesn't, if Ian Bush survives another day as AXW champion after United We Slam, there's, or Matt Quay walks out AXW champion, there will always be respect. But a year-long rivalry like that, where it gets very personal and very real, it takes a long time to forge ahead. There will always be respect, but there's always going to be animosity. So I genuinely see, like, I know you want to see the reunion of the brothers because it's dividing the dungeon, but I'll tell you this, when being the man comes into play, all bets are off.
I could not have said it any better. I don't know who's Joey is. I never watched Dawson's Creek. Sorry. So, yeah, but I know exactly what you're saying though. Something man. Or someone gets in the middle of that brotherhood. Yes, I just in general, like I said, this is we talked about events being emotional roller coasters, with fans sitting on the edge of their seats. And by the end of the night next week, I'm not sure if anyone is going to be able to contain themselves afterwards. As far as, like, they're going to be exhausted, they're going to be worn out. I'm saying the fans are going to be out of breath. They're either going to be happy or they're going to be heartbroken, one or the other. So. Yeah, time will tell. Just get your tickets, folks. AXWTix.com.
Yep, and I'll even ask this, Chio, and you talk about heartbreak. Matt Quay has gone one full year, you know, wanting to become AXW champion. And a lot of the fans want to see him win. And you brought up a phenomenal point. What if he doesn't? You know, what if this whole journey to get back to what he wants, what if he doesn't win? I mean, the heartbreak of the AXW fan base will be unbelievable because Ian Bush will continue his reign. And then you start thinking, who's left? So there's so many questions.
As Matt Quay, if he doesn't win this match, he's going to be questioning himself big time. Am I good enough? Was I ever good enough? Why? He'll probably be talking to God himself. Why did you let me get so close and have me fail? And you know, you didn't grace me or bless me to pick up this victory whatsoever. But yeah, it's definitely gonna take a mental toll on Quay if he doesn't win, because like I said, he's gonna be constantly questioning his value and if he's ever gonna be good enough to be champion.
Absolutely.
You mentioned about this being a couple of the last shows. Yes, November 11th is United We Slam. And then December 23rd will be the official last ever pro wrestling event that will be held in the legendary Hamburg Fieldhouse. I will not be there that night. I will be at another event. But after my event, I'm going to try to get to Hamburg as fast as possible because I want to be there for not for the final match. I'm not going to be there in time for that, but for at least the final time when they turn those magical lights off that were put up above around the ring by Vince himself. The lights in there that's going on. That well, he's the man. Vince brought us the lighting system that they have, which it is just a bunch of lights, but still it has history. But yeah, I definitely want to try to make it there for the final lights out and locking of the doors, because then after that there would be no more professional wrestling in the Hamburg Fieldhouse. But do not threat. There, did I say threat or did I mean threat or whatever? But anyway, but
it sounded threatening.
Yeah, don't get scared, because AXW did find another home, and it is at I believe it's the Veterans Memorial Hall in Oricksburg, Pennsylvania. It's fully renovated. Bleacher seating is there as well. Brand new PA system and all that stuff. It's not that far. It's probably like about 15 minutes to 30 minutes from Hamburg. So it's not that far. It's not too far out of the distance. So you can still make it to the AXW shows. So definitely look forward checking out the new venue in 2024 for AXW, as well as they're going to look into branching out into other areas as well. So hopefully AXW grows, the fans grow with them, and we just continue to do what we do, which is love pro wrestling, talk about it, buy tickets, go see the events, support the talent. The talent's there to support you by giving their blood, sweat, and tears as they go in there to perform. And that's all I have for today's show. Really, because we pretty much talked about everything that was already currently advertised through XW. And if there was other stuff and they didn't put it out yet, we don't want to be the guys to put it out there if they didn't put the news out yet. So we don't want to be those guys.
I mean, we got some surprises coming, obviously, on November 11th, final few shows in the Hamburg Fieldhouse. So you want to be there. That's just how AXW is. And I do want to give a special shout out. Brutal Bob Evans has been promoting this, and I know Jared and Tone from AXW has been promoting this as well. Farewell to the Fieldhouse.com. They are selling limited edition t-shirts to symbolize the end of AXW's, not only AXW, but the end of the Hamburg Fieldhouse for running wrestling events. They have a limited edition ringer tee of a Farewell to the Fieldhouse t-shirt. And they also have a fictional wrestling card with some of the biggest names that have ever wrestled in the Hamburg Fieldhouse, available on farewelltothefieldhouse.com. This is going to be an absolute final two shows. It's going to be an absolute experience to be there. And, I'm definitely looking to write something, or having, talking to bankers about wanting to write something as it comes to this venue. I mean, I know we're going to a new home with a lot of other history in professional wrestling in 2024, like you mentioned, Chio. But I'll tell you this, the Hamburg Fieldhouse I went there January 7th, 2023 for the first time ever. And I parked in the parking lot, and I got a feeling of like my old man. We used to go to all these shows for the New York territory, going there, and just the fact that the end of live events running there is over, it makes me feel like I'm happy I got there when I did, because I got to experience it. And we can't plug it enough, like you said, Chio. AXWTix.com. Any veterans, go to that website, they'll help promote. But AXW is going to be fine. We're going to keep moving forward. But I'll tell you this, The Hamburg Fieldhouse will never be forgotten by anybody that wrestled there. And the final 2 shows, the AXW talent's going all out. So, you know, there you go on that.
We just had one of our good close friends here to the show, former co-host of BodySlams podcast, and as my man Dennis Brandell, also aka Dennis Reaper, the man behind Skybray Productions.
Yes, sir.
For photography, he'll set up at the event. And wrestlers, if you need 8x10s and stuff like that, hit this man up. He'll hook you up. Good top quality. You don't want to miss out on your chance. You know, often imitated but never duplicated. The quality, you know, it is what it is out there. Oh, my bad. He hit me up. I said production. It's Skybray Entertainment.
Hi, Dennis.
And that's why I love Mr. Dennis Reaper himself right there. Like I said, he has no hesitation in correcting me, and I appreciate that 100%. I got to see him last night as well. He was set up too, doing his thing there at the live event, showing support for what was going on at Conrad Weiser with Ace Austin and everything with the musical department over there. But yeah, that's it. What we have for the show here, because like I said, this was take 2 because take 1 was a kibosh.
Oh man, and again, I apologize to anybody who tried to tune in this morning. I mean, I'm driving doing real life stuff, and then I pull over to the Delaware Water Gap, and I try to get on. I'm like, good, I finally have a good signal. I'm ready to go because I was so excited to talk about this, and then I have a missed call, and they're calling in. I pressed the hang up button, and my mic got kiboshed. And I go, good grief. And I felt so bad, but I'm so happy we were able to do this, Chio. You're a good one, man. I definitely love to talk about this again, especially
take 2.
Take 2. Action.
All right. Yeah. For more information about us here at the BodySlams Podcast, all you got to do is go up to the .com at the top there, BodySlamsPodcast.com. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification button to find out when we are live, especially on the YouTube. We're trying to build up that traffic there, what's going on over there. If you want any of our products, t-shirts, mugs, this and that, you click on our pod shop. You can buy our merchandise there as well. Whatever proceeds that go through that goes back into this for us to keep this streaming going here, for us to stream to multiple platforms as well. My man John Harder over there over at hardwayhq.com. I got it right. Yes, baby.
Absolutely.
Check him out in the descriptions below, especially on YouTube. You can probably see it in there. You'll see his other links as well as mine too. I'm also on Threads, as you can see right there, which I barely use it. I don't know why I still got it up there. I guess I should put my new LinkedIn address because I start putting everything up there too. But I'm gonna give one big shout out to a group of guys out there that's really dear to my heart, and that is none other than the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, Tone, they beat your Cowboys today, brother.
Oh man, I'll tell you what.
Big ups to my man Dennis for his Ravens. I had them as my pick too, as going over in their game as well. It was football day. That's why I said, yo, hold up. The Eagles are playing at 4:25. We got to wait till after 8 o'clock, something like that. You said 8:30. All right, we're on. That's good.
Oh, I gotta wait. I gotta wait till 8:15 tomorrow for the Jets. But you know what? I'll tell you this: Jalen Hurts in fantasy is my quarterback. He just got me some big points. So shout out to Jalen Hurts. Big ups, man. I want to say this also. I know last time we were on, the Philadelphia Phillies were in the playoffs. I honest to God thought the Phillies were going to go to the World Series and actually win it. I thought the momentum was on their side, and then Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer are world champions, and I have to live with that for the next several months. So
Texans.
Let's go Mets. Oh,
boo. But yeah, it's still football season. So
yes,
yeah,
sir.
my man Dennis saying #Ravens Nation. It's a good day for the birds, the Eagles and the Ravens. That's right. So, but thanks for tuning in, Dennis. Thanks for jumping on at the last minute. Love you, brother. John, thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Always appreciate it since the last time and this time, and whatever else more times we can jump on here together. Oh man, I am so winded right now. All right, tomorrow morning starts the work day. Everyone back on their P's and Q's. Put those 9 to 5s in, or 8 to 4, or whatever your schedule is. We'll see you next week here on the BodySlams podcast, which then I will be talking about Three Legacies Wrestling, and hopefully my compadre, Mr. Joey Image, will be here on air to talk with me about
Hi,
that.
Joey.
Yeah, I mentioned yes, the Image Empire.
Yes, and I'll tell you what. And then just a little side note to that. I just want to say last month at AXW, Max St. Giovanni and Tim Hughes. It was an Image Empire reunion. All we needed was Joe. So shout out to Joey, man. I hope he's doing well.
All right. Any final words, John?
AXWTix.com, the most important match of 30 years. Matt Quay, Ian Bush, AXW Championship. That's where it's going to be. The Hamburg Fieldhouse. 2 shows left. Do not miss November 11th, United We Slam. That's all I got.
That's right. And don't forget, check out John over at hardwayhq.com and us for all of our other past episodes you can watch on our BodySlamsPodcast.com, as well as the audio stuff is up to date right now. So you can listen while you're on the go, in the gym, in the car. If you have some kind of device that you hook up and you can play podcasts, just look for Breakfast and Body Slams, like the most recent, and it should pop up on there on whether if you have a Google or whatever it is you have. But thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you're not tuning in now, thanks for watching the replay, and share it out to all your friends out there, about AXW, about the podcast here. If you like what you hear, please, like I said, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, this is our time. We're out of here, and we'll definitely see you all at the matches. Peace out.